Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for the segment, we have Russell Rhoads, head of research at EQDerivatives, to discuss Thanksgiving volatility patterns. And Russell, not a surprise here, you are all about patterns with what you do for a living. It's great to see you. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thanks for having me back. Happy Thanksgiving weekend, or week, Jill.
Yes, we will be taking advantage of the short day on Friday, that's for sure. And you love to backtest. It's kind of like what Russell Rhoads does. Why do holidays impact volatility indexes?
Well, all volatility indexes are based on calendar days, not trading days. So whenever holidays come up, like this week, and this week is a very unique one, where we got that day off on Thursday and then we have a half day on Friday. But whenever we have a holiday, there's a little bit of a headwind going into the holiday and then a little bit of a tailwind coming out of the holiday for any volatility index that is based on, broad-based index option pricing.
What did you find looking at vol Q and NDX patterns during Thanksgiving week?
Well, we've got vol Q going back to 2014, so we now have 7 years to work with. And the day before, which would be Wednesday this week, we are 7 for 7 with vol Q dropping that day. And it doesn't matter if the Nasdaq 100 is higher or lower. I know we always like to look at the inverse relationship between a broad-based index and its corresponding volatility index. But there were years that the Nasdaq was up that day, and there were years that the Nasdaq was down that day. But regardless of what's going on, the day before Thanksgiving, vol Q is 7 for 7, being lower on the day, anywhere between about 1.6% and 7.6%.
So why should traders care about all this?
Well, the big thing is a lot of people, if you don't trade the volatility indexes, and we do have futures on vol Q, even if you don't trade them, if you trade Nasdaq stocks, if you trade any of the derivatives based on the Nasdaq 100, you should be paying attention to vol Q. Often it's a confirmation. As the Nasdaq 100 makes new highs, you would expect it to make new lows, whether it's on a daily chart or a 5-minute chart. So a lot of people pay very close attention to the corresponding volatility indexes. Just one of the things that you have to keep in your mind, in the back of your mind, is that going into Thanksgiving, we are 7 for 7 with vol Q being lower. And the day after Thanksgiving, when some people will be trading on that shortened Friday, we're actually 7 for 7 with vol Q being higher. And when you net it out, from the Tuesday before Thanksgiving to the Friday after Thanksgiving, vol Q actually rises. It's just kind of a funny anomaly based on the extra headwind and then getting a little tailwind after the holiday.
Yeah, it's so interesting, Russell, because usually we think of the mindset is how you would trade volatility or how you even trade equities. Going into a holiday weekend, a 3-day weekend kind of always makes it extra special. But this is like a 3.5-day weekend, and there's some trading in between. So it really is an anomaly, with the exception of maybe some holidays. I don't even know if Christmas or New Year's Eve this way. I think we actually have 3 straight days off. It really is not any other time of the year where you have this 3.5-day off, but you're trading half a session.
Yep, and actually there's one other little piece to the puzzle here, which is a very large component of the Nasdaq 100, and we've talked about this before around earnings, is Amazon. And Amazon options actually behave like there's an earnings event as we go up to Black Friday. So that's something else that kind of gets into the mix, and maybe why we see that rise on the day after Thanksgiving, because everybody's waiting to see what kind of numbers, what kind of sales numbers are going to come out of Amazon the first weekend of the holiday shopping season.
It's so interesting because now we have Cyber Monday as well, which really was the genesis of Amazon and of all the other companies that are online as now. Russell, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.